2 years on from the London riots, some small businesses say they're still struggling to recover. Many owners are still waiting for compensation. Others say they've had difficulty coming to terms emotionally with what they went through. Our reporter Nick Beak has spent the day in Tottenham and joins us now. Nick.
Riz, it all started here. 300 people protested outside the police station, angry at the shooting dead of local man Mark Duggan. As we all know, the violence then spiralled. And as we found today, the impact of that violence is still being felt. The fires of the English riots were ignited here in Tottenham. Looting, arson, the police under attack. Landlord Nish Mufwankolo had to jump out of a window to flee those gutting his pub. In the 2 years since, famous well-wishers have dropped in, but he says the riots have had a huge emotional toll, which is not always recognised.
Nobody mentioned them. We're just talking about money, how much money you lost, how much this, what are the goods that you lost. Well, what about the health of the people that is going through those kind of situations?
The police made more than 5,000 arrests after the riots. More than 1,000 people were sent to prison. Today, though, it emerged more than 300 suspects had not been caught. Have those people got away with it now?
Absolutely not. We will continue to look for those people and they will be arrested. We'll find that we'll arrest them because the things that they did to this community, I'll speak to Haringey, totally unacceptable.
This was where Steve Moore's jewellers stood before it was burnt down. Thousands of pounds of goods were then stolen from his safes. Today, he says he still can't reopen.
I feel guilty for letting my customers down. Their goods, their jewellery and all the rest of it was robbed from the site. I've let a lot of people down. That's how I feel.
The local MP says his constituents need better support.
I'm grateful for the regeneration money that's coming to Tottenham, but it's coming. It's not yet arrived. And in the meantime, the government set up their own inquiry and are not implementing its recommendations. That I am deeply, deeply concerned about.
2 years on, Chris, how are things?
Things are slowly improving. Aldi's is up and running.
Chris Lane used to be the town centre manager for Tottenham. He sees some positives.
There's plenty of goodwill. We're on the way forward. In my opinion, we need much more funding certainly from government. We need to ensure that Tottenham is a destination point.
Blanche's travel agency has been in Tottenham for 41 years. She wants more visible policing.
We're very lacking in the area. With history, past histories and what have you, it would be really good to nip things in the bud before anything can start.
Because although 2 years may have passed, emotions here are still raw. Well, the police say people here can expect to see more officers on the street. As for the government, they say they are implementing some of those recommendations from that riot report. They're helping to rebuild communities. Whereas they may be rebuilding some of the buildings that have been knocked down, but in terms of repairing the emotional damage done, well, that's taking a lot longer.
Nick, many thanks. So 2 years on, what is happening to the investment that was promised for these communities to help rebuild them and regenerate the areas? Here's our political editor, Tim Donovan.
Well, some think what's happening on the ground is lagging behind the rhetoric. The main investment is meant to be coming from a £70 million Regeneration Fund headed by the Mayor. 2 years on, a little under £7 million has been spent so far, less than 10%. Now, these are the two areas due to be the biggest recipients. Croydon has been promised £24 million to help it rebuild. And then there's Haringey, which includes Tottenham, of course. That's been promised £41 million. And one particular issue has arisen in Haringey recently, plans for an employment and skills project to help local people into long-term jobs, which was due to get £1.5 million. Well, that's now been scrapped because of disagreements between City Hall and the council. But overall, says one academic, many of the riot-affected areas, and especially the small businesses within them, have really struggled to get over what happened 2 years ago, and there's more to do.
I think it's very disappointing. I think it suggests to small businesses in those communities that they're not valued. And quite frankly, in some cases, if it wasn't for the support of members of those communities coming out and saying to businesses, we're sorry for what happened and how can we assist, many of those businesses would have closed down.
Now, the Mayor's office says that while not much of it has been spent, all the £70 million in this Regeneration Fund has been allocated. It says the pace of spend is increasing now as things move from the design to the construction phase in many projects. And it says the money is on course to be used by 2015. Spending money wisely based on robust checks and measures takes time, says a statement.
Our political editor, Tim Donovan. Well, joining me here now is Pauline Pierce, the woman who became known as the Hackney heroine after she confronted rioters in her neighbourhood. A very warm welcome to you. For anyone who's not familiar with what happened, you basically gave them a telling off in what was quite a volatile situation.
Yes, indeed, I did. I was going down the road where it was most of it was taking place in Clarence Road, and I got very angry at what I saw, and people thrashing bins and setting fire to things and cars and vans. It was pointless. It absolutely seemed pointless to me because we were supposed to be supporting the family of Mark Duggan and, you know, fighting that cause for them to find out what had happened to their loved one, why he was killed, no explanations were given. So, of course, you know, what they were doing was not reflecting what we were there for. So it just went out of hand, totally out of hand.
And 2 years on, we heard in a previous report there that, you know, emotions are still raw. How does it feel for the community where you live?
Oh, indeed, emotions are still raw. I mean, there's been so much happen. We had the riots, we had the Olympics, we had all these exciting things going on, but still hadn't really dealt with the underlying problem, the real problem that was there, which was the poverty and all the cuts and where everyone was so angry with the students' issues. And it was the pressure's getting to the people, and it still hasn't been dealt with. It's been what I call lip service. Everyone's talking about solutions, everyone's having debates and meeting up, but nothing's
changed.
Not really. If anything, it's got worse because obviously since the riots we've had more cuts, we've had more changes and things. So of course people are still tense, people are still unsure, they don't know what's happening, people are having to leave their homes because of bedroom tax and all sorts of issues.
We've heard this evening that, you know, there are recommendations. The government, you know, set up a panel which has reported back that there's investment opportunities. In your view, though, if there was one thing, you know, putting aside reports, putting aside money, if there was one thing that you, on the ground, you see that would help, what would that be?
For me personally, right now, we need to reach out to the community and the police. We need to find that kind of bond and understanding with the two, building the bridges, because I feel that if we can get over to the community and get over to the police, it will come together, and it may just slightly smooth things over a little bit. But that is my main concern right now.
OK, Pauline Pierce, a.k.a. the Hackney heroine. Many thanks for your time this evening. Thank you. A man in his 20s